iPod.
Like everyone tells me that.
Yeah, I mean it's like I've time traveled. Like
You should know something about that.
exactly.
Yes.
In 10 years, that'll be worth $30,000. Like those,
True.
like those Apple
How was
iPods.
Barry dealing with the loss of Nora in this season? It was such an emotional finale.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss having Jessica.
Yeah, me too.
She was such a wonderful
She's
addition.
great, yeah. I think he's kind of in denial about it. Like he's kind of just doing his best to move forward and do all the good in the city and for the team that he can, and kind of bury it for now, which isn't obviously the best way to handle it. And we kind of see Iris, who also is probably not handling it in the most healthy way, kind of confront the fact that the only way we're going to really get over this is if we kind of come together to get over it, because I think we both kind of isolated ourselves after it happens because it messed with us so much. So we're going to kind of see us on different pages initially and then come together and try to find a way to get over it.
And then can you talk about Barry's journey this season? Because he went on a whole emotional roller coaster the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about my overall arc this season.
No, I mean the last season.
Oh, this past season.
Yeah, because I know you're not going to talk about next season.
No, it was nuts. Yeah, I mean, last season was complicated for me as an actor too, because it's like we introduce. Okay, it's like now you have a daughter, and play this history and play this emotional connection, but also she's like essentially your age, like. So it was a really weird, complicated thing to do as an actor, and I think we were like kind of finding it as we were wrapping up the season. I mean, it was kind of nice that it was really awkward early on in the season, because like that's kind of how it would be, I guess, but. I don't really know how to pin down his arc as a whole. It's just, I think he knew as soon as Nora showed up that this was amazing, and it was also something we never voiced was, or we kind of did, I guess, was like, this is probably going to have terrible repercussions, and it did. And I think Barry kind of knew that the whole year, that like this is going to have to end with, tragedy, with either her vanishing or me something terrible is going to happen. I think that was always kind of floating around.
Did you change?
The timeline has changed now yet again. So what effects are we going to see in the new season of the changes of that consequence?
Well, the newspaper article changes, and yeah, we've moved up significantly, I think by like 5 years, and the monitor pops up really early on and says that the universe is in jeopardy. In order to save the universe, Barry Allen is going to have to die. So we are dealing with that pretty much out of that's the biggest change. I mean, leading towards crisis.
Well, and Barry has had a very different kind of traumatizing reaction to the various villains throughout this series. How is this particular villain this season going to mess with him?
I think it's just like, sadly, his biggest like Achilles heel is like it's going to happen again, where it feels like he even is suspicious of this person, but it's like we let you open up to someone again, and you kind of let them in, and yet again we're going to get stabbed in the back, so it's like it happens, to Barry again and again and again. But I think it's going to feel a little more personal this year. There's going to be a history there with him and his character and Caitlin. There's going to be a level of trust, I think, that's kind of, that it will exist and be shattered.
Personally for you, about this crossover, not the details of the crossover, just the fact, given the fact that you are a major Superman fan, what is your feeling about the fact that we're going to have Brandon Routh and Tyler?
Brandon actually texted me like 3 or 4 days before that was announced, and he was like, I wanted to tell you first because I know that you're going to be like really excited about this, and he sent a mock-up of the suit he's going to be wearing to me. I'm really excited. I think I was 16 when Brandon's Superman movie came out.
I'm sure that makes him feel really good.
I had just gotten my driver's license, and I remember it was the only midnight showing I've ever been to in my life. Like, I went to see that thing open on a summer vacation with like my brother and a friend, and Superman like emblem and stuff all over my car, and we were stoked. And the whole Chris Reeve thing goes really deep for me. Last year with Tyler Hoechlin on set was the most surreal thing I've experienced. Well, next to being in the Fortress of Solitude. So I don't even know what it's going to be like to see Brandon in a friggin' Superman suit. It's crazy.
Are these crossovers the thing you look forward to the most each season, or do you dread them?
I dread them a little bit, to be honest. I mean, once you find yourself in them, like especially last year, because we did all those role reversal stuff, and we laughed a lot. We had a lot of fun, more than in the past, to be honest, because it's a logistic nightmare. I mean, productions have to make a lot of sacrifices. Like there have been times where you work on 3 shows in a day, but there have been times where I'm like shooting a group scene with the legends or whatever, and as soon as my coverage is over, like they send me to Flash, and like then everybody else has to act like with acting double, photo double, like, and they're shooting over him, and nothing against whoever the photo double is, but it's like, that's not their scene partner. So like stuff like that is tough and like hard to deal with throughout the crossovers. But they're fun once you find yourself in them.
So Arrow's going off the air after 8 years, and that's been considered the mothership of the DCTV.
Yeah, Arrowverse,
You're the second active running show. Have they talked to you about it? Is the Flash is going to be assuming that role? Everything's going to be
I don't know. I think it'll, first of all, remain the Arrowverse. I think it'll always, that's what it is. It'll be the Arrowverse forever. Who knows how much longer we have? Like, we're all contracted for 7 seasons, so.
And in your world, it's multiverses, so there could be a whole new Flash.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they could keep going without me.
So you're gonna watch that whole contract negotiation?
No, it's
part.
true. Yeah, they'll be like, all right, see you, Grant. We got this kid for cheaper. So.
That's all we have time for.
Thanks, guys.